story from the project. Innocent black man. Let me be clear. Damn, man. The story from the project. Innocent black man.
What up, YouTube? Welcome back to the Small Account Challenge. Today is day number 92. The market is still moving downward. I hope you guys aren't bullish right now and you playing what you actually see, because that's what I'm doing. A couple of weeks ago, the bad boy was at 613. Right now, it's at 591, and it's down 6 points today. So I hope you guys are not denying reality and trying to ride things up, because the market is telling us we're riding down. And that's exactly what I did today. Kept the guardrails on like I said I was. Most of my entries were for the downside, and we was able to pull out one of our profit targets. And I'm going to tell you exactly how it all unfolded in today's midday market recap. All right, y'all. So let's go over the trades from this morning. Like I said, the market is right now riding the elevator down. So that's what I'm doing. I'm riding it down with it. That's how I'm playing the game right now. We got into a number of trades today because we have more buying power. So more buying power, more trades. Anyway, our first trade of the day was at 941. Like I said, it took a while for the market to cook up. Normally, I'm in the trade by the second candle. Today, I literally had to wait till the third candle, and that wasn't a really strong candle, but it was a good setup though. It was at 941 to the downside. All right, here we go. Let's pull the chart up. It'll come on your screen in a second. Oh, I want to say this. One of the commenters said that they would like to see a video of the trades. I tried to do that today. It just wasn't working out. But what I found out through some research is that the broker I use has a replay version. So what I'll do is I'll replay a previous day, and I'll break down how I would get in and get out using that function, and then you'll understand how I look at the market versus live trading. Because with live trading, I'm too focused, too locked in. But I can definitely do a replay and record that session and put it up. So I'll be working on that in probably this week, if not next week. But I'm trying to work on it. All right, y'all. Here we go. Now, first trade, like I said, 941 to the downside. At 930, SPY is sitting on the two moving averages, the 10 and the 30. I'm not convinced that it wants to move. Like I said, it took a while to cook up. So 935 still sitting there. It did make a little bit of move up and down, but not enough to convince me it's time to jump in. On the 935 candle that closes at 940, it begins to move away from the two moving averages. But I also noticed that it's running up to the 200-day. And like I said, it wasn't a lot of energy. So, and the market right now is what? Heading downwards. So it looks like the buyers know that it's going to be heading downwards. So as it runs into a little bit of resistance going up, and that pre-market resistance, you can see it here, which was right around here, which was like 598.25, right around there. I jump in at 941 and ride it down with the guardrails. We ride it down and we get out at 944 right before the candle closes. Now was our first trade, and you know I like my first trade to be green, because that way I could trade from a position of advantage versus handicap. Our next trade, we slided over to Meta. This one was to the downside. Meta to the downside. Here we go. All right, y'all. I'm going to try to make my explanations as clear as possible so you can understand what I was thinking in my thought process, because I know some of you guys like to understand that. So Meta to the downside. We got into this at 952. All right, the 930 candle was also sitting on their moving average, the 10 and the 30. The 930 candle that opens up but closes 935. We got a downward pressure candle. And then on the 940, the one that closes at 940, it begins squeezing up. Like I said, but all it did was move away from the moving average and come right back to the moving average. So I'm not convinced, but there is a key level that it ran into on the 945 candle. I saw that, and that key level was 667.14. So it runs into 667.14. I'm like, okay, that's a cool level. That's acting as a strong resistance along with the moving averages. So I'm watching it. It begins to sell off. I'm still watching it, but because the candles aren't that strong. It wasn't until the close on the 950 candle that I noticed, oh, okay, it looks like now we're starting to get some people coming into this bad boy. So we jump into this at 952 because it hits the moving average, and I begin to see it move a little bit faster. We jump in and we ride it down, and we get out at 954 on that on the push downward, and that was our second green trade of the day. So now we got back-to-back green trades. Our next trade was on SPY. We went back over the SPY to the upside at 955. Remember, we got out of this one at 954, so now we jumping over to SPY, because you got to move sometimes. All right, cool. We jump over to SPY. This is to the upside at 955. I noted, like I told you before we left SPY the first trade, SPY began to sell off. So on the 950 candle that opens up, 950 and closes 955, I looked at this and said we got 3 red candles in a row. In a row. The 945 candle that closes red, the 950 candle closes red, and the 955 candle closes red. So now I'm saying we might have a green candle and some profit taking. Remember, I told you in a couple of videos ago, the better you get at predicting what's going to happen next, the more money and the more consistent you'll be as a day trader or trader in general. So like I said, I'm banking on the probability of, because of these 3 candles before it, people want to start taking some profits. It may not ultimately finish as a green candle, though this one did, but it's a chance that it may go green before it closes. I was absolutely right. We jumped in right as it opened up at 955, and we got out as it pushed up at 957, and that was to the upside. So now we have 3 green trades. So now we really looking nice on the day. It wasn't a lot of profits each trade, but like I said, I like to compound my profits versus trying to hit a home run in every trade. I like to get one trade good, another trade good, and all that begins to add up before you realize you have a nice day. Anyway, my next trade was on SPY again. This one was to the downside at 10:01. Now, why do I go back to the downside? Because ultimately, the market is sliding down. Like I said, that green candle that just showed up, all that candle was, I want you to hear this clear, y'all. All that candle was, for anybody who missed the first entry on the first 3 candles, now have a chance to get in and write it down, because they know the market is writing down. And that's normally called a micro pullback. A micro pullback. It pulls back a little bit, but you can make money on it like I did on that trade. Anyway, 10:01. Here we go. As this candle closes, the green candle on that micro pullback closes at 10:01. I want to make sure that we're going to start heading down. It opens up at 10 o'clock. By 10:01, I see the bids have taken over, and I begin riding this bad boy down. And but it did kind of fake us out a little bit, because it ultimately finished red. But sometimes, like I said, these candles do a whole lot of wonky stuff, so I had to hold this bad boy for a little while longer. So we get into this, like I said, 10:01, we riding it down. 10:10, we're still in this because we got in late. No, we got in 10:01. We're still riding this down, and by 10:14, we finally get out, and that was our biggest trade of the morning, because that bad boy rolled really nicely down, and that's how we finished that trade. Now we're sitting, I think, above 1%, maybe like 1.5 or something like that. We haven't hit the profit target, but we're really sitting nicely on green. But then the next trade, we actually lose on. And this one was SPY to the upside, and this one, like I said, I got a little bit too confident, thinking the market wants to go back up, and it did not. This one was at 10:15. So when this candle closes, that candle of indecision at 10:10, this one opens up at 10:15. I'm thinking, because of that candle of indecision, the bids look like they have begin to lose the war, and the bulls start coming in. And that's not what happened. The bids regain control in the next candle at 10:15. We jump in this and we get out at 10:17. But I didn't get myself out. Of course, you know the guardrails is on, so there's no emotion. I'm not looking to move my stop order and all that. Once I'm in, I said it. If it goes against me, it's all right, because that's the purpose of the guardrails, to take the decision out my hands, and then if it gets me out, gets me out. That's how you maintain and you keep your losses tight. Because to play this game, you got to keep your capital. You run out of capital, and then you out the game. All right, our next trade was on Meta to the downside. This one we won on, but this one you had to be fast on the trigger. Let's pull it up. All right, now here we go. We got Meta. This is at 10.20. Now I'm gonna tell you, I got into this because Meta's selling off, because SPY's selling off, and Meta's a part of the top 500 companies. So at 10.20, I jump into this, but I jump into this at 10.20 and 25 seconds, and I get out of this at 10.20 and 52 seconds because it's to the downside, but Meta's starting to move real fast. The minute it falls, I pop out real quick fast, and that's how we was able to add to our gains, and we covered the loss on that last trade on SPY. So now we closer to 2% on the day. And the reason why sometimes you gotta be quick on the trigger. Let me say something, because when I first started day trading, this is back some years ago, my first teacher was a really good day trader. His name is Ross Cameron, and he normally trades small caps. Normally, he might have changed now, but back then he was trading stocks under $10. And a lot of time we found stocks like around $3 or $4 or even $2. Now, I lost a lot of money back then because I just was starting and I was trying to mirror him. That's why I don't let people mirror me, because trying to mirror somebody, you're trying to follow get in on their conviction. And you normally, when stocks move that fast, you're normally a couple of cents behind them. And then when you add on slippage, by the time they're getting out, your profit hasn't really hit yet, but now the stock is already reversing. That's why sometimes you got to be fast on the trigger, because some of these stocks can move really, really fast. But I learned the larger caps, they do have their fast days, but they normally have better resolution. That's why I like them. Anyway, here we go. We got into this. Oh, that one we done with. So now we jump on over into SPY again. Here we go. And this one was to the upside. SPY to the upside. Here we go. At 10.22. Alright, okay, so at 10.10, we get that candle of indecision. 10.15, downward pressure candle closes at 10.20. This one also closes at as a red candle. So now I noticed that now we're coming down to a key level, and that key level is 590.78. I'm thinking this is going to act as a level of support. So on that 10.20 candle, we jump in, and before this candle closes red, it does a quick upward move, and on that move, we sell our position for a green trade, and that's how we added to our position. But on the next trade, we lost on, because I absolutely thought that it was going to ride back up. I was right, but I was one candle too early. We got into this one on at 10.25. The very next candle, like I told you, is running into that key level of 590.78. So I'm thinking that's going to act as a nice level of support. It does hit it. It goes through a little bit. We jump in, like I said, at 10.25 as this candle opens up. The funny thing about this, then it runs through it, but it doesn't act like it want to go back up. So now I'm sitting there for a couple of minutes, and I'm holding this bad boy, and I don't get out of this candle, this trade till the very next candle. But because it begins to break the key level, I say it's time to get out. Don't play with this, because the bids actually do see that. They see that key level, and they hoping that it breaks. And don't forget, right now we're in the downward market, so don't play with that, because that can easily go down pretty fast, and now you're done for the day, or you lose all your profits. So I got out of that one. Once I noticed that it was going to maintain and the bulls were going to step in, that's when I jumped in again to the upside at 10.33. So as this candle right here is still making movement about to close at 10.33, I saw it did turn to a green candle. So we in this bad boy. The next candle opens up, it begins to squeeze up more, and on that candle we sell our position with the guardrails taking us out. And we got one more trade left. This one We at about 2%. This one we get in at 1038. All right, before this candle closes, we jump in thinking that it's gonna run up. It goes against us. I'm like, damn, I'm about to get back some profit. I'm about to finish the day at 1%. But I kept my cool. At 1043, I added because I did notice that it didn't want to come back all the way down. So 1033, I added to this and rolled it up as it touched the moving average. That's when we got out, and that's how we was able to finish the day. I tell you, y'all, sometimes you can see it there. Sometimes the market can fake you out, but don't play with the market. Stick to your rules, and you'll be able to eventually, like I said, if you're not profitable already, you'll be able to become profitable. Most of y'all, I've seen some of y'all in the comments, most of y'all are already profitable. Just stick with me and stay consistent, and we should be able to knock this bad boy out. So anyway, that's how I finished the day, y'all, and we'll be back at this tomorrow for day number 93. All right, y'all. Peace.